Marketing is responsible for building trust with our customers. In order not to destroy all your marketing efforts, promise what you deliver and deliver on what you promise. Digital media is one of the most untrusted forms of marketing that there is. Why? Because there's 16-year-olds out there telling you that they can make 7 figures in a business and they don't even own a home yet. Digital marketing, no one's regulating that. I can say whatever I want. You can promise the world in your marketing, but if you don't deliver on it, that's when your reputation is going to be affected. A marketing promise is this. Welcome to the Marketing Factory, where we don't blend in. I'm Marisa Candy, founder and award-winning marketer. And for over 2 decades, I've helped businesses think differently about their marketing and achieve powerful results. In this podcast, I'll share proven strategies so that you can create profitable marketing campaigns that drive real impact for your business. Ready to turn clarity into action? Let's get started. Hey, welcome to the Marketing Factory podcast. I'm Marisa Candy, your host, and today we're going to be talking about the fastest way to destroy your marketing efforts. Now, how do we destroy our marketing efforts? Well, let's not go and set about trying to do this, okay? So that's the overall general rule. We want to actually make our marketing work. There's 2 things that go hand in hand that affect our brand reputation. And our brand reputation is this: how people perceive your business once they've tried it. So the people that have tried your business, we want to try to keep them on side, right? We want to try to create customers for life. And how are we going to do this with our marketing, right? What are the things that are really important to be aware of in our marketing to keep people on side? There's this principle I want to introduce you to, and it's called promise and delivery. They go hand in hand. It's the whole pie of marketing per se. On one hand, we promise something, and on the other, we deliver it, or we better, or else it's going to affect our brand reputation. A marketing promise is this: I promise to deliver you your pizza within 15 minutes or it's free. I promise to fix your car within 2 hours. This is a promise that you've put out. It's empty. It doesn't mean anything until you actually have to deliver it. Now, let me pose to you this scenario. You've bought a ticket on an airline flight. You've paid for that ticket. You've packed your bags, you've turned up to the airport. As you're in bag check, you look up on the screen and it says, flight cancelled. What happens? Do you go, damn it, I'm never booking with that airline again? Or do you go, oh, okay, we'll wait and see what happens next? Depending on who you are, depending on what's happened to you that day, is how you normally respond. But ultimately, the airline responsible for cancelling your flight, your perception of their brand is ultimately going to be affected. You and hundreds of others that flight cancellation has affected. Let me give you another example. And this one's very close to home because this is actually my order when we go through the drive-through at McDonald's. Yeah, I'll have a Happy Meal with the cheeseburger, please. No sauce, onion or pickle on the burger, thank you. And an apple juice. So what actually happens when we get to that window, I pay. So they go, yep, no problem, got all that. I see it on the screen. They've promised me that. Cheeseburger, no onion, pickle, sauce. What's this woman actually want on there? It's actually just the bun, the patty and the cheese. But that's not how they work. They want you to take things off. So look, I comply. All right, they gave me a promise. They said, yes, we can do that. We pay. We go to the next window. The Happy Meal comes into the car. My son's delighted. Yippee, what are we going to get? He opens the burger and there's sauce, onion and pickle on the burger. What happens? He cries or has a meltdown. He probably doesn't want me to tell you. He's probably not going to listen to this podcast so I can talk about him, maybe for a few years anyway. But he goes into a full meltdown because the promise that we were given, yes, we can do that, wasn't delivered, okay? In marketing, it might not be as simple as that, what your promises are, but you need to ensure that you can deliver on your promises before you go making them. Domino's, the example I gave earlier, your pizza's made within 15 minutes or it's free. They're one of the cheapest makers of pizzas out there. That's the lane they're playing in. They know where they want to operate. They're very clear on where they want to be seen and where they want to operate, and they drive all of their delivery to that promise. Are you going to get the best pizza? No, that's not what they're promising. Are you going to get the most tastiest pizza? No, that's not what they're promising. But are you going to get a pizza in 15 minutes? You betcha. You bet you are, because that's what their whole business is skewed towards. So how do you ensure that you can deliver on your promise? The number one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to overpromise. We are in a world where we just want to please people. We're in a world where we don't want to offend, right? This is the world we're operating in. So we want to promise, and everyone says, oh, you got to underpromise and overdeliver. Yes, you do, but ensure that you don't overpromise, because it will be at the detriment of your marketing and your brand reputation. You've got to be on top of this stuff. You have to make sure all departments are involved. You can't be going out there making these grand claims, right, of what you're going to promise unless it can be actually delivered by every department, everyone that's a part of that sales process, okay? Because marketing is built on trust. We've got to build that trust. How do we build trust? We've talked about this before, right? We've got to deliver on our promises. We've got to be consistent with our messaging. Just quickly, if you're a business owner struggling to see results from your marketing, or you're overwhelmed by the thought of marketing your business, we can help. Book in a call with my team using the link in the show notes, and let's get your brand thriving without the struggle. Now, back to the episode. Now, listen, if you're currently using digital as a part of your marketing, digital media is one of the most untrusted forms of marketing that there is. Because why? Why? Because there's 16-year-olds out there telling you that they can make 7 figures in a business and they don't even own a home yet. Or it could be anything, right? But digital advertising, digital marketing, no one's regulating that. I can say whatever I want. No one's calling me to task. No one is fact-checking that I can actually deliver on any of that. And if you run a business and you have ever run TV ads before, who remembers that? Hands up, can't see you, but I can feel you. Put your hands up if you've ever advertised on TV before. It's tough because there's an organisation called Free TV Australia, and they governed what we could say in our advertising. And if we wanted to say the word best, then we had to prove it. If we had to say the word only, we had to prove it. If we had to say the word award-winning, celebrated, most popular, Australia's favourite, we had to actually back it up with some substantiating evidence. But now on digital, you can say anything. So be aware when you are putting a promise out in the digital world or in social media that it is untrusted. So you've got to build trust. And how are you going to build it? By delivering on your promises. Yep. So in order not to destroy all your marketing efforts, promise what you deliver and deliver on what you promise. Because what's the worst thing that can happen? Again, we're in this digital world. What's the worst thing that can happen? You're going to get a bad review. There's keyboard warriors out there that will take to giving you a bad review, potentially sometimes even if they haven't done business with you. And it's really challenging to remove that. So you let 1 or 2 go. But when you've got a few, many bad reviews will destroy your marketing efforts. It will affect your brand reputation. So remember this, marketing is responsible for building trust with our customers. Don't let them down. Reviews are going to help you build trust in your marketing. Now go out there and get them. So we talked a lot about the negative side of what happens when your brand reputation is affected, and that's what this episode is predominantly about. But let me share some good news onto the story about what can actually happen when trust is maintained. When you've built trust and you get a customer once, twice, 3 times, you're actually looking to build this term that I love to go for is clients for life, customers for life. Because what will customers that are happy with your service do? They'll go and leave you positive reviews. Positive reviews are fantastic forms of social proof that will tip people over the line that don't know you or haven't seen you. Yeah. So we want to keep working on building good reviews, positive reviews, and real reviews. Now, one little lesson in this for you. If you get 1 bad review, I don't want you to rush out there and delete it. Be honest, be transparent, be authentic, because it shows the real you, the real business. Nobody's perfect. Us as human beings, we aren't perfect, right? So we need to show a little bit of vulnerability, a little bit of, we haven't always got it right every time, okay? But this is what we did as a response to it, and people will appreciate that. When we're looking on how to handle bad reviews, there's someone that comes to mind for me, and it's in a book. Go out there, grab a copy. It's one of my favourite. It's called Breadwinner. The author is Tom O'Toole. He is the owner, or was the owner, of a bakery located in Beechworth. Now, Beechworth isn't a very big town. It's a very small town. And Tom O'Toole has got some wonderful lessons in business. It's a book that I have read to my children. I know, God bless them. We do have other books in our house. We got like the Gruffalo and, the Hungry Hungry Caterpillar. We've got that as well. But I do a bit of nighttime reading with a bit of Tom O'Toole Breadwinner. Now, in this book, he's a colourful character. I've actually seen him live once. He came and gave a great talk to us. He's a very animated chap. And he is responsible for this very successful bakery in Beechworth. Now, the way he handled customer complaints was this. And now this is in the day before digital, okay? So come with me, stay with me. Days before digital. When people would complain, he'd have a little box that he'd have complaints. He'd have a complaint box. So what he did was every complaint that he got, instead of just grabbing it, scrunching it up and throwing it in the bin, he pinned it on a board in his bakery for everyone to read. So when you put in a complaint or a compliment, guess what happened? Tom would go out, grab it, and put it on the board on display in his bakery. So what do you think that did? Were people less likely to make a complaint in the small town, or were they more likely to make a compliment because they knew it was going to be on display? Us as human beings are interesting characters, and the way in which we handle other human beings and appealing to their, again, needs and wants is different, but not actually shaming and being shamed by a bad complaint. He just accepts that you can't be all things to all people, but for the people you are for, you are their everything. Thanks for tuning into The Marketing Factory. If today's episode helped bring clarity to your marketing strategy, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. And don't forget to subscribe on your favourite platform. Stay connected with us on the socials at The Marketing Factory or at The Marketing Factory AUS, and let's keep turning clarity into action.